Good morning, Rabotai. Tomorrow night is the Yilula of Rabbi Masoud Abuchatzia, for Be'ikar being the father of Baba Saleh and of Rabbi David Abuchatzia Ateret Roshenu and of Baba Chaki. But more importantly, Rabbi Masoud was known for his tremendous leadership. I'll just read to you an excerpt that is written by Rabbi Moshe Torjeman. Who was a family member, of course. The Torjeman family married with the first daughter of Rabbi Yaakov, and Rabbi Moshe Torjeman, who was the Rav of Baba Saleh and Chavruta Rabbi David. He writes the following: that he was great in Torah and in Mishnah. This is written in the introduction of the Sefer Petach HaOel of Ateret Roshenu, and he writes, his great involvement in the public good left him no time to put thoughts in his writing. What happens is that after Rabbi Yaakov passed away, there's a tremendous void. So each one of the sons had to take upon themselves to fill that vacuum. So it took 4 sons, each one did something else. Rabbi Masoud took care of the whole community. Rabbi Aharon took care of the writings. Rabbi Avraham went to Eretz Yisrael, that was his father's dream. And Rabbi Yitzchak took care of the yeshiva. So what happened was that Rabbi Masoud had to deal with the community day in, day out. He didn't have time to properly delve and write his own sfarim like he would have wanted. Indeed, there is a tshuva of him in the Sefer Asher Lishlomo of Rabbi Shlomo ben Denan. There is a teshuvah from him. But he passed away in 1908, and in his younger years, he had his father put a chavruta for him, Rabbi Shlomo Chayun, who was was Rabbi Yaakov's main students, and they learned for a long time, where they really delved into all the secrets of Torah and of Kabbalah. One day, after returning from his learning, Rabbi Masoud met in the street. We also see types like this sometimes in Los Angeles, but over there they saw demons, mamash shindalids, and they started bothering him. And they were starting bothering other people. So Rabbi Masoud, when he went to them right away, he just mentioned his father's name. It's known that once they hear that, they're scared of Kiddush Avatara, they ran. Rabbi Masoud went on his way. But then he said to himself, and this was really, it reflects on the whole life of Rabbi Masoud. He says, what? Just for myself, I'm going to take care of myself. What's with everyone else? He went back. He said, you guys get out of here, or I'm going to tell my father to banish you guys from this world altogether. That's it. They weren't seen anymore. They're always afraid of Kiddusha v'Tahara, and that was Rabbi Masoud. Rabbi Yaakov, before he passed away, he gave some of his belongings as a bracha, and Rabbi Masoud asked for him that he should take his old robe. I guess it was already, Rabbi Yaakov was a little bit older. He was on his way to Eretz Yisrael, and he asked him for his old robe. Now, he thought he was going to get something a little bit newer or whatever. Yaakov gave it to him, and he says, I know that you think it's a little bit old, but if you desire something new, I'll give it to you. But you should know this particular cloak has a lot of bracha in it. And any times people would come with a severe, with a problem, whatever else, he would give them that robe, and they would see Yeshua from it. There was an older man who had a Jew came along. He had a severe illness. Rabbi Masoud took out the robe and enveloped the person in it. Right away, the person woke up in tremendous health. In other words, there is a power. Sometimes people say, "What power is there to articles or whatever else?" If the tzaddik invests in a certain keli and a certain something kedusha v'tara, it could be passed. It could be passed to the next generation. I'll tell you that one last thing was that Rabbi Masoud was, as we was known so much for his tzidkut, he made sure that not only that the poor people had money, if they didn't have money, he would borrow money from the goyim, sometimes in interest, in order to make sure that the community had money. And that's why he was known as somebody who was beloved to the community, although he was a very firm leader. He was called Sabbat de Mishpatim, because he was the master of the law, because he had a strong hand, and if somebody was wrong, he would tell them that. But nevertheless, because of his chumrot and because of his care to the community, so he led it with tremendous strength. At the time, let me give you an example. the business gates and ports were in Algeria. So people would travel always to Algeria for business. Now the problem is that in Algeria there was also negative influences that people could learn there that they did not know in Tafilalet. And there was businessmen that was the common occurrence. They would go to Algeria, they would make a lot of money in trade, and they'd come back. Now Rabbi Yaakov wasn't so happy that people would go to Algeria. He called it's the country where the Satan and his troops live. That's what he did. That's what was going on over there. And anyone embarking to Algeria, he would tell them, you have to be very careful not to fall under the trials and tribulation. Kind of like the same brachot we give somebody who goes to Las Vegas, right? So Rabbi Masoud, he was following his father's footsteps exactly in that, and he made people swear not to come to places that are questionable, and especially when people started having doubts, maybe to send their kid to that school or that school in Algeria. He told them, let me tell you something. If you want a bracha from me, a tfilat derech, of birkat derech, of going and coming back safely, it's on condition that you don't frequent these places. That's what Rabbi Masoud ruled. So these are a few of the stories about him in the past, about his sidur that he gave to Baba Sali. But these are a few stories that are important to remember. That Rabbi Masoud was someone of tremendous leadership, that cared about his community, that was an example of caring about the people that needed help, and was somebody that he was a legacy to his father, and he was also someone who made sure to stand against the influences of the time. Yehei Zichro Baruch.